So this will be the second time we will watch an Easy Peasy video. I remember there was like an Easy Peasy video of why India will rule in 2030, if I'm not mistaken.
That one, yeah.
This one is an Easy Peasy history of in Indonesia. Sorry, India, which is requested by Sri Rock PG. Check it out.
Easy Peasy.
An Easy Peasy history of
I forgot. These guys say Easy Peasy a lot.
Easy Peasy.
The birthplace of yoga, home of Bollywood, colorful clothing and textiles, and a culture of spirituality. Not to mention the delicious Indian food. All of that sounds pretty great, right? Well, it is. It really is. Did we mention the delicious food? But how did India become the India that we know and love? The place where the Beatles explored their spirituality through their music? Easy peasy, bro. Let's take a look at some history and find out. All the way over 2 million years ago, hominids, very early humans, migrated from the birthplace of humans, Africa, to India. India is home to fossil remains of Homo erectus from over 500,000 years ago. After the last ice age, more extensive human settlements appeared. The people who lived in India invented pottery. Honestly, that's a pretty cool invention. They should definitely be proud of that. But let's jump ahead a bit. In the Bronze Age, Egypt, Mesopotamia, and the Indus civilization were considered the cradles of civilization. This mattered because the Indus civilization included parts of modern-day India, and the Indus civilization was the biggest one of all, with a population of more than 5 million people. That's a ton of people, even by today's standards. But when climate change comes a-knocking, it doesn't matter how big you are. Drought and slowing trade hit the Indus civilization hard, and they faded out of existence. That's rough. When the Vedic period arrived in 1500 BCE, it brought with it the Iron Age as well as several cultural aspects that would last throughout Indian history. Some even to modern day, like organizing society around 4 varnas or social classes, and the core themes of the Sanskrit epics. The principal texts of Hinduism originated during this era. The Maurya Empire took hold in 322 BCE and lasted until 185 BCE. It unified most of the entire Indian subcontinent into one state and was the largest empire to exist on the Indian subcontinent. There were power grabs westward, until Ashoka took over as leader and felt bad about all the death and misery caused by the empire's expansion. Which makes sense. Death and misery aren't really a lot of fun. Ashoka embraced Buddhism and shunned violence, which led to half a century of peace and security. Pretty nice. Later, much of the Indian subcontinent would be united under the Gupta Empire, which lasted until 550 CE. Easy peasy, right? This was the golden age of India. The Indian people's knowledge grew extensively, especially when it came to science, technology, philosophy, math, Hindu culture, and literature. In fact, it was during this period that the number 0 was invented. That's right, before this, it just wasn't a thing. We can thank the Gupta Empire for the symbol of 0. After the Gupta Empire, many more empires came and went. Vigataka Empire, Karmaruppa Kingdom, Pallava Empire, Kadamba Empire, Empire of Harsha. Even the Huns tried to establish themselves in India, though they were defeated or assimilated. After that, we had the Chalukya Empire, Rashtrakut Empire, Prashira Pratihar Empire, Pala Empire, Chola Empire, and the Eastern Chalukya Empire. Yes, again with the Chalukya Empire. Whew, that's a lot. Maybe India could just cool it a bit with all the different empires? Nah, spoiler, there's gonna be more. In 1190, the ruler of the Rajput Chauhan dynasty, Prithviraj Chauhan, secured his legacy by famously defeating the Muslim Sultan Muhammad Ghori at the First Battle of Tarain. But war has a way of turning on people, and at the Second Battle of Tarain, the Rajput army was defeated, laying the foundation for Muslim rule in mainland India. Tough luck, Prithviraj Chauhan. Growth of Muslim dominion brought its own score of problems, by which we mean temples and monasteries devoted to Indian religions were desecrated and destroyed. There were forced conversions to Islam and huge losses of life for non-Muslims. Maybe we should go back to some of those earlier empires. But the Delhi Sultanate, which was a Muslim sultanate, ushered in a time of intermingling Islamic and Indian culture. The resulting period of Indian Renaissance brought forth the language Urdu, along with advances in architecture, religion, clothing, literature, and music. Not only that, but when the Mongols tried to invade India, the Delhi Sultanate successfully stopped them, mostly because of their awesome cavalry abilities, which rivaled those of the Mongols. Better luck next time. Just kidding. there wouldn't be a next time because the Mongol Empire mostly dissolved by 1680. When the Vijayanagara Empire began in 1336, the first 200 years were spent battling and gaining control of much of the Indian territory. Easy peasy. Yet the emperors were tolerant of most religions and sects, including Brahmanism, Hinduism, and Islam. Southern India flourished under this empire, especially their mathematics. In case you haven't noticed, math was kind of a big deal in India. In 1498, Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama found a new sea route from Europe to India, which opened the doors to more European trade, but also made way for the Dutch and eventually the British. Spoiler, rough times ahead. In 1526, the Mughal Empire took over, which would end up covering most of South Asia. It was the second largest empire to exist in the Indian subcontinent, and its economic power was even greater than that of China. Good job, Mughal Empire. In 1617, the British East India Company was given permission to trade duty-free in Bengal. But the Bengal province didn't agree with this decision. Wars and battles with the British broke out, which resulted in the British East India Company gaining control of Bengal. This was the beginning of their foothold in India, and by the 1850s, the British East India Company controlled most of the Indian subcontinent. We warned you. There were rebellions, of course. A large one in 1857 took the company over a year to subdue. And things weren't great for the Indian people either. Due to failed policies, famine struck hard. In 1876 to 1878, 6 to 10 million people died. And this wasn't the only famine either. There were 3 more massive famines, as well as a plague pandemic that alone killed over 10 million people. But one of the most important events in the 19th century was the growth of Indian nationalism. In 1920, Mahatma Gandhi became popular for his movement to campaign against the British Raj using peaceful methods. Easy peasy. During World War I, over 800,000 Indians volunteered for the army. Almost 90,000 would die in combat. It was a rough war, to say the least. And in World War II, the British Raj sent over 2.5 million volunteers to fight under British command. But many other Indians who rejected Nazi Germany refused to fight unless India was granted independence. Finally, in 1947, after mutinies, mass migrations, more famine and death, India finally gained independence from Britain. Celebration time! India is now the second largest English-speaking country in the world. It's famous for elephant spas, having the largest number of vegetarians in the world, and producing more milk than any other country. Tourists can visit the Taj Mahal, the beaches of Goa, or countless other ancient temples, palaces, and forts. Good job, India! If you loved learning the history of India, it's easy peasy to subscribe.
Easy peasy. Easy peasy. So there was like so many empires. I think we have seen the videos of the year by year. Remember, right? Yeah. We learned many of the empires really come and go. So I mean, same like Indonesia actually. Yeah. Indonesia, there's like so many empires that come and go. Interestingly, to be able to seize that company, to join one as one is not. The journey is way before the BCE, right? So that was amazing and interesting and simple history of India by easy peasy, bro. As always, guys, thank you for watching.
Thank you for the history lesson.
We'll see you guys.
See ya.
Are you still here? They're still watching.
Oh, thank you so much for watching until
till the end.
This second.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Don't forget to
while you're here, don't forget to
subscribe.
Don't forget to
hit the like button.
And guys, if you are looking for advertising, email us.
Email us at hiubangshow@gmail.com.
Or even better, go to our Patreon page. We got lots of good stuff.
The link is on the description box.
You know, we've been doing this for quite a while. We've been asking them to do. Nobody go to our Patreon page.
But maybe after this.
Maybe after this. Anyway, guys, as always,
thank you for watching.
Thank you.